by his predecessor. Seeds that could not be sown during his predecessor's tenure. Mr. Speaker, indeed, I believe if politics could be described as a sport, the one it would most closely resemble is a relay race. It is a sport that relies as much on the individual's achievement as it does on teamwork and cooperative effort. The true test of that competition is in the passing of the baton. So too with politics. Mr. Speaker, President Jerry John Rawlings started the structural transformation of this economy under the Economic Recovery Program. This program restored Ghana to a path of growth, which he handed over to President John Agyekum Kufuor. President Kufuor continued the Economic Adjustment Program and under HIPIC initiative achieved significant debt reduction, implementing new social intervention programs such as NHIS and the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty Program. He passed these on to President Professor John Evans Atta Mills. President Mills commenced the Eastern Corridor Road Project, the University of Ghana Medical Center, which I inaugurated yesterday, the Kotokraba Market, the Cape Coast Stadium, and a host of others which I inherited and completed. Mr. Speaker, my administration commenced the construction of new community-day senior high schools, a policy of progressively free secondary education, construction of the Eastern University, investment in many infrastructure projects that are ongoing, and many others that will actually commence under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. Speaker, I am assured by his firm statement that he will continue these projects as enjoined by our Constitution of 1992. Mr. Speaker, I wish him all the success in this regard. And as I've said many times already, regardless of whose tenure in which these visions come to fruition, its success belongs to Ghana. They belong to all of us. Mr. Speaker, political opposition and differences of opinion are vital to the health and growth of any democracy. Political parties are formed when people of similar ideology come together to move their agenda forward in a way that best serves their country's interests. But the well-being of the nation and the will of the people must always come first. Partisanship for its own sake in the end is no better than dictatorship. If we look around the world, we can so clearly see the deep divide that blind partisanship is creating in nations with democracies that are even far older than ours. We can see too the divide that it is threatening to create in ours if we are not careful. Already it's taking a toll on our morale and our sense of optimism. It has given way to a cynicism that is as dangerous to the incoming political party as it is to the outgoing. We cannot afford as a nation to wish or hope for the failure of any president and his or her government. Ensuring accountability is not the same as leveling insults or encouraging apathy. We have history as proof that we have been better and that we have done better, and that we must do better once again. Mr. Speaker, I first entered this House as MP for Bole Bamboe in January 1997. It was perhaps not coincidental that the same year, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo entered as MP for Achema-Boakwa. Taking breaks from the business of the House, to grab something to eat at a snack bar, Nana Addo always stood at the end of the counter, his signature white handkerchief tucked into his sleeve. Johnny, he would shout in greeting as he preferred to call me. Incidentally, we both served 3 terms in this House, departing together in January 2009. This is how long I've known the President-elect, or we have known each other and work together. I have the utmost respect for him, given our history, especially that we have each had our turn at each side of a presidential election. It would seem only natural for us to be considered opponents. Worthy opponents is the description generally used in the world of sports. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we are all on the same team as Ghanaians. We worked together when I served as ranking member on the Committee of Foreign Affairs at the time that Nana Addo was the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. One of the issues on which we crossed swords was the murder of some Ghanaian youth in the Gambia. It is instructive that as I leave office and as he takes my place, Gambia once again is a nation that is engaging international attention. Mr. Speaker, it is my assertion that the information I've provided is a snapshot of the...
I think that the most effective way that we can have a debt portfolio for our country that is sustainable is to make sure that the NDC loses this election in December. Kicking out the NDC will be the surest way we can to protect the debt structure of our country. Why do I say that? In the 4 years in which they have been in power, they have more than tripled our national debt from 9 billion cedis, which was at the end of Kufuor's period, to 28 billion cedis today. In the 4 years of the NDC administration, they have contracted more debt than all the governments of our country, from Kwame Nkrumah right down to John Agyekum Kufuor. That is the nature of the situation confronting our country. And I dare say the President would agree with me that without the rebasing of the economy, the debt profile of our country today will be getting towards epic proportions. So we need, when we're talking about the debt profile of our country, to bear in mind two things. One, the areas into which the debt goes. And I agree with some of my previous speakers that the productive investment and the rate of return on them is a critical one. Equally critical is the value for money of the transactions that the debt brings about. We need to look at that. I've given some examples of public procurements that are taking place in our country on an extremely inflated rate. Once again, we need to look at this. You're talking about loans that are given, and inside the loans, the arrangements for determining value for money remain very opaque and unclear. How can you persuade the Ghanaian people that debts are being contracted in these circumstances that are there to push forward their future? We intend to be extremely disciplined about the contraction of debt. We're first of all going to respect the teachings of the national budget and treat it as precious. We will not be stepping outside the constraints of the budget. We are going to make sure that we reduce considerably areas of corruption in the construction and execution of some of these projects. These are the critical matters that our people are looking for leadership on. That we are not going to get ourselves in airline and other aircraft and other transactions that leave so many questions to be answered. The 28 billion is even without the latest Chinese debt.
Thank you so much.
MPP party talks about we have a man, we have a man, we have a man. If you have a man without unity, you don't have the mind. Listen. Listen. Because if the men are there and they are not united, they will not give you their brains. The party will suffer and the nation will suffer. They will sit down and watch. They want someone to fail for them to take the baton. But you don't want to. Let me tell you, if the group fail, if the nation fail, you have failed. Maybe you called a wrong person to speak today. The Greek word for division is not what we are saying. The Greek word for division is not party, it's not groupings. It's the Greek word is you tear apart. If the party in power is not united, the country will suffer.
There is a wind coming.
Wow.
And it's not 2019. It will begin after 2020 going.
After 2020, there's a wind coming.
There's a wind coming. The Arab uprising is coming.
Here.
It's coming. It's coming.
By the youth.
It's coming not just to Ghana, West Africa, all over. If we don't do something, if we don't give them hope, that's why I'm going back to the schools.
Speak to them.
And I'm engaging the youth again. Because if we don't give them hope and a sense of direction, the most dangerous thing in life is to fight somebody who has nothing to lose. They don't have wives, they don't have children, they don't have cars, they don't have lands, they have no hope, nothing to live for, they don't mind dying.
So our politics is treading on dangerous grounds.
It is Africa, because I see it everywhere, and it's very scary and very worrying. That
Will the wind start from Ghana?
I don't know, but it's coming to West Africa.
After 2020?
Yeah, after 2020 going, 2021, 2022, 3, 4 going, if something don't change to give the youth hope, I'm telling you.
You are saying that this person cannot perform. Yet you are saying he in our party nonsense. I've told, if you vote party, the way you will suffer, me, I'll be here, I'll tell you, I will suffer with you. Nothing will make me suffer with you. I know too much that I can't suffer. But I can tell you, look, you know I'm a man of God. Try to make mistake. Neither will tumble to 5,000. If you don't want another to tumble to 5,000, better tell yourself what to do. It's a word to you when you vote people who have nothing in their head. If you vote party this time, Nigerians, we go fall our hand, they watch on her. All the things they are suffering, am I suffering with you? I'm too connected by covenant to suffer what people are suffering. But if you vote, it's a word to you when your leader is like a child. That means any leader who will be using dampers is dangerous. It's a word to the whole life. When thy king is what? Child. It's the Bible, I'm not the one who said it. It's a word to the whole land. When thy king is a child. They use dampers for children. So if you have a leader who they use dampers, woe to you. And the priest is eating the. It's the Bible, and am I the one that said it? I said you want to argue with the Bible.
You think that me, I don't know, I have heard that sometimes judges and the lawyers can talk and agree and exchange either gold or envelopes, and something happens. Some even can give you land. Especially if the case is land. Me, I don't know, but I heard that. There are real public perception that is not in your favor. That is not the story of these people we are celebrating. But after 41 years, this one here is your story. Redeem your public image. Ghana Bar Association must redeem its public image, because how Ghanaians are thinking about lawyers and judges, it's not in your interest. Even though when you die, we will not put you downwards, but people still think that some of you won't go to heaven. I said this morning, there's still a notion in this country that justice is for the highest bidder. Justice is for the privileged individuals. Justice is not for village people, women who've been accused of witchcraft. There are people who still believe that. And that is why there are people who still hold the notion in this country The perception that justice is better served at the shrine. And we are in Kumasi. We are near the joke. Why are you wasting? So there are those who think, my Lord, coming to it's a waste of time. Go come, a waste of time, money. They trust the shrines and prayer centers more than you people. We need to work on this. 41 years ago we condemned and we continue. Today we are still condemning acts of abuse, of injustice in this country, and we are still moving on. There's legal illiteracy in Ghana. People are so ignorant.
And Shabutuam and Shamram and CA. Your DC or this area. Your regional minister or area ha. Your lands commission or area ha. Your forest your forest commission or area ha. Enunti Ashamram. Miss Ragana for Madam Pamochao. Yeah, one bro. Any and Chirimano Swabro. Na political party be ba was what Magalam say a coso. Ukawa we your buffo, we your mamboni. Political party be so say, Messi Garam say a masua. Medimaconia bato ho. Garam say na a coso a dian wire. A nyan sam a niburia. Na mekano Ghana Christopher Dawson. Mumaya ni mriye nya ye. Na so mbeja na politicians bia ni area ni constituency ni bia Ghana say the people should reject him. Party be authority this God I'm saying the party should be rejected. Party chairman, party secretaries, party sponsors, Moguya Nimasi. You have become a disgrace and a disaster to this nation. We should think about the people. We should think about the posterity. My heart is burning. We should change. And the corruption, almighty corruption, politicians, ya bremu, sansuna media, ya bremu, yenina software, sorry we should change and repent and have a different attitude and make Ghana better for the next generation.
You see, our governments behave as if the monies for development are from their personal pockets. Instead of knowing that it's the Ghanaian taxpayers' money, our politicians don't respect the citizens and our taxes. They don't feel accountable to us. So they mismanage our meager resources. Unfortunately for us, our journalists who are supposed to be watchmen, who should hold public office to account so that they will do the right thing, do not see any evil. They don't hear any evil and they don't speak any evil. They have become dumb dogs. According to Isaiah 56 verse 10, he says his watchmen are blind, they are ignorant, they are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, they are sleeping, they are lying down, and they love to slumber. It's the same thing our clergy, who should be saying it on the rooftops, because many of these politicians go to church or go to the mosque, but as pastors we have also become dumb dogs. And if you're a pastor and you talk, they say you are talking too much. Instead of teaching our electorate, who are made up of our church members and made up of the people who go to the mosques, to hold our governments accountable, we are competing in our visions about who will win and who will die. In the past, it used to be some Christian clergymen doing these confused predictions. Now Muslim clerics are also doing it.
I'm hearing that a governor in the south is spending 10 billion naira to build an ecumenical a place of worship for all Christians. I don't know, is it true? I hope it's not true. I read it on Facebook. That's why I'm throwing it to you now. A governor from South, I think it's Akwa Ibom State. Is anybody from Akwa Ibom State here? Is it true? It's true. You also heard it, that your governor wants to spend 10 billion naira to build a worship center. And I'm sure in our hearts we'll be clapping for him. Hey, he's a Christian. How many industries have they built? What are you building another house for in a state where I'm sure you can't count the number of churches? The numbers are too big. God doesn't even know where to stay again. He's confused. You're building another one for what? Do you know how many agro-allied industries 10 billion naira can build? For a state where I'm sure it has among thousands of jobless youth. You will build the church, the jobless people will now come to the church and be praying, not knowing that their job is where they are standing. Why can't we have sense? Or why can't they have sense? What is the meaning of all this? After that, they will tell us that your problem is from Abuja or it's one Fulani man in Aso Rock. Your biggest problem, geometric. In fact, if Abuja is a problem, Abuja's problem in your state is maybe arithmetic. You know what arithmetic is? 1 + 1 is equals to 2. It's simple. Our governors in the south, they are quadratic equation problem. They are. Trust me on this. Is it that when you build a house now, people will enter there and all their problems will be solved? We want to be industrialized. We want to be as prosperous as industrialized nations, but we are not building industries. We are building mega worship centers that are not necessary. And then we enter inside those mega worship centers and be praying to be like industrialized nations. Na sense on I no get. I know they with her. I'm not there among them. Seriously. Nigerian Christians and religious people, including our position, they are like a man. God has blessed you with orange tree. No, not orange, mango tree. Mango tree that produces fine mango fruits. When the tree produces mango fruits, what do? You plug the one you can eat, you eat the ones you can, you sell, Abi, and have money. But our mentality here is that we will cut the tree, saw it into wood, use it to build church. Then we enter inside the church and be praying, God give me mango. God give me mango. That's our mentality. I'm hearing that a governor in the south
over our head and there's electricity, then we can go there. Now let me talk a little bit about the pandemic. Are you listening? Okay. Now,
what he's trying to say, it's not what you have put on. What the IMF is saying, the impairment, because the government is not paying, not able to service its debt, owed to the BOG, you have to impair it. If you pay it, if it were a commercial bank, your capital adequacy ratio has fallen into the negative. In other words, if the Bank of Ghana were an institution and you were going to sell it, it's almost bankrupt. However, central banks don't go bankrupt. Their policy mandate to regulate the economy, they still they still have that mandate to continue. He's not saying that, so he's not saying that they have failed there. In other words, despite the fact that they have negative equity, having impaired the loans they have given to the government, they still must continue with their policy in order to stabilize the economy. That's what he's saying there.
But in the midst of this,
I'm just giving you the meaning of what
the IMF is saying. In the midst.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 25th of August, 2023. By His grace, we're alive and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making around here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Industrialization agenda. Economic structure needs change now. Yahweh Sokop proposes. Ioko recovers 79 million Ghana cedis. Graphic. Ghana Standards Authority Breakfast Summit on Standards today. And Constituency Watch is on Doma West, home of cocoa and rice. Ghanaian Times. NPP presidential primary. Super delegates decide tomorrow. 5 out of 10 candidates to make it to next round. Ioko bags 79 million cedis from crime proceeds. Minor jailed 12 years for defiling friend's daughter. Danger looms in Sekondi Takoradi over excavation of hilly areas. Daily Guide. NPP super delegates confirm. Ashanti constituency chairman wrote for Bawumia. Delegates barred from displaying cast ballots. 2 Nigerians caged for trafficking 11 victims. Celebrate Addison for saving economy. Maslock closes Boku office over safety. Baby rescued from Achimota Forest. New weekend crusading guide. Grassroots say we should vote for Bawumia Ashanti NPP chairman. We will nominate new candidates for PPRC stool. Let's applaud BOG governor and deputies, Kwamina Duncan. Finance Ministry partly responsible for Bank of Ghana's mess, said Tekpe States. Show me love on Saturday. Afri Akoto's last appeal to the 961 superdelegates of NPP. Nana Brefikoto joins Kinteko Churu II to promote culture and business. Gomwanyanya no chiefs kick against a state developer of impending demolition. The Insight. Adansongo. Communities appeal to government to halt excesses by Magdan's electrochem against indigents. Chop chop at Bank of Ghana. Ablakwa blasts Governor Addison over defense on $250 million head office project. Beige Bank and banking sector cleanup. Gifty Afenyedazi accused. You can't impose a chief on us. Edwaju residents tell Ochihini. How BRICS summit commenced in South Africa with focus on expansion and de-dollarization. The Informer. Coalition holds government's balls in court. Gives 13 the ultimatum of his wrath. Partnerships on SDGs crucial. President's special advisor. $24 million rural project. Damboche charges MMDCs to ensure value for money. Bawumia cures NPP account tag. Akomia. I trust Ghana's criminal justice system. Jachikwesin declares. The Inquisitor. War over doctorate degree. Amaku bans things educhum. Ministry of Finance is partly responsible for Bank of Ghana's mess, said Tekpe States. NPP Superdelegates Congress tomorrow. Loud victory for DMB. Samuel Oku predicts. Premix automation launch at Elmina on August 29, 2023. Addison must personally receive our petition, minority. The Herald. Finance Ministry, PPA, Dozier exposes Bank of Ghana governor and others. Reveals procurement rules were disobeyed in $250 million new head office project. NPP bars election day campaign by executives, government officials, presidential aspirants. Bawumia's election will kill Akan-only propaganda against NPP, says Ejapa Mesa. Omani Boama accepts NDC job and promises victory. The Daily Statesman. Who play in the top 5? NPP superdelegates decide on aspiring flag bearers tomorrow. ECG settles debt to IPPs. Ghana's TVET qualification framework best in Africa. Kwamna Duncan, BOG governor and deputies deserve commendation. The Ghanaian publisher. Ashanti Roots for Bawumia says it's the choice of the grassroots. Group urges Ghanaians to support Bank of Ghana. Show me love tomorrow, Akututu delegates. Government to launch premix automation system Tuesday. The Ghanaian Observer. Bawumia is the choice of the grassroots, Ashanti NPP chairman. Applaud Bank of Ghana boss and deputies for saving economy, ex-minister. Government to launch automated outlets for premix fuel. 27th GJ Awards launched. The Finder. Bawumia trumpets sacrifices and records and plans to reward the grassroots when elected. Yoko recovers 138.9 million cedis in 18 months, COP Adodankwa. Republic Bank Ghana to offer pension-backed mortgages to Petra Trust clients. Show me love on Saturday, Dr. Akututu delegates. Access Bank builds capacity of 300 children in STEM. Dr. Omani Boama is NDC's Director of Elections and IT. Daily Post. Ghana Maritime Authority, top brass cooking a $14 million create loot and share scheme. Election 2024, NDC announced appointments to strengthen executive team. Osino chief snubs Ochihini over accountability matter. Business and Financial Times. Over 53% of children have unacceptable blood lead levels. Breaks to control 30% of world's GDP as 6 new members join the bloc next year. Aging farmer population worrying. Ministry of Food and Agriculture as youth representation stands at 5%. Transfer Joel shares to GMPC Exploco. Parliament orders. KIC begins dialogue on advancing food security and innovation. Feature, igniting change from within, the power of citizen activism. And another feature reads, rethinking taxable value of goods and services supplied by hotel and tourism operators. And finally, the good old Catholic Standard. On dwindling Catholic population, Bishop Asari calls for introspection. Give women, men, equal opportunities, Father Osei Tutu. Pope Francis writing part 2 of Laudato Si. Nigerian Cardinal, Bishop, among 100 most notable peace icons in Africa. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Now here, TV, fridge, freezer, air condition, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, and iron. Say about Hisense smartphone no sukradia. Yeah, titi so more than a Hisense factory direct promo. It's in your madada noa. Emma light bill kuno. Fasi baby, never for 28 August, I come 2nd September. Be way showroom no. Said they turn no. Sana ye turn. Wait dear, ya titi swap bro so. Who? Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
My name is John, and this is my long-time crush, my cookie dipped in strawberry yogurt. On this scorching hot afternoon on our way back from a long job hunt, we met this good Samaritan who offered us a 6 weeks later.
A special wedding reception for our bride and groom.
And there she is, my cookie, dipped in someone else's yogurt.
Who holds the moolah, calls the shots, play game by games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Big phone numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times daily to become one of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery.
There's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you now, and couple the makers in Sran who they were.
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. I'm up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Yama wakwaba de ba Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie e ba no care siesie ne ho akadia. Ubenya bibie bi wa ha. Care bia ne ha eni ne ohia. Yenso ye wo ho animdefo a obeso anu yi ama. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories ye dwumedie de. Eye 24/7 o. Ye siesie wo engine, wo brake, battery, yesesa wo tire. Se ba no car wash dia. Je wo abefun fidie bi ti se steamer ye de horo car engine abra nsuo nko engine nim ye san ye detailing metre se ye betwitwu car no mu ba bia ma o ye wi a ya san polish car na ma o kama enye we no munku ye san to car batteries tires rims any de keke kan Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories ema o car ensi ne dedem na enwu adwuma ma o hwehwe ye chira kwan wo dansoma na sorry dan ho a ene KFC bon hwanimu e won kran se wo information anansem bi se bia fresh 024 651-9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. O kwan so yonko papa.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, there's a man who's still in birthday mood. The flavor is still on for him. Honorable Dr. Dixon Kisi is the Member of Parliament for the Anyasu constituency. Good morning, Doc.
Morning.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. I saw my online guys really celebrating you.
Oh, okay.
On the day.
Okay.
Splashing your pictures and all that.
That's fantastic. Then that's fantastic. It was a fantastic day. I ended up doing 2 cesarean sections, so two boys actually.
Were you actually on duty?
I worked. I mean, there's one patient of mine who insisted that she delivers on my birthday.
Oh, okay.
So I had to do that. So my day started at 5 a.m. Doing that, and then after that was just messages, phone calls, and visits. So it was a nice birthday, especially with the 2 boys.
Okay.
I'm happy.
All right.
I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Also with me on the show this morning is a man who is, I think, that is yet to perhaps fully digest and perhaps appreciate his new appointment. I'm sure that is no stranger to many of you. Yabroja Jemfi, and is the newly appointed Deputy Director of Special Duties of the NDC. Good morning, Broja.
Good morning, Doc.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a while.
Where have you been?
We've been around. Yes, executing some special duties.
I see. All right, so we'll be getting into those special duties pretty shortly. But if you're thinking about securing your future with some high-level quality tertiary education, which I think is a must, do so with Accra Business School. You can boost your career with their prestigious MSc degrees from the KNUST. You can choose from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Marketing, International Relations, Public Affairs or IT Management. In just 12 months, the NBA can be yours. Dive into their BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management, and Business Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. The Accra Business School offers flexible entry payment and learning options convenient to you. It's time to unlock your potential and take position. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or call the Accra Business School on 0263 888 666 or 0263 888 555. You can visit the campus Other Spintex Road, Christ Square. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today. And it becomes quite challenging, if not impossible, to use the stairways, especially when aging and physical infirmities stand our way. Well, you need not worry any longer, because with the portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you're sure of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions, homes, and offices. It's a simple-to-use, self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility to choose from. You may call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home or the office. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days with modification to your building. Visit Lifts and Elevators Ghana at Sakumono for your solutions and free consultations. You can reach Lifts and Elevators Ghana on 0200-535-515, or you can email them at elevatorsgh@gmail.com. And what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember who's got the molar, has got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some cash. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18, responsibly. All right, so we'll try and talk responsibly at this point. Doc, let me start over with you. Tomorrow is your special delegates conference.
Yes.
Yes. And 10, the statesman says that top 5. Who will play in the top 5? Yes, out of the 10. And if I look at the front pages, I see quite a number of headlines. The Finder says Bawumia trumpets sacrifices and records and plans to reward the grassroots when elected. The Ghanaian Observer says Bawumia is a choice of the grassroots Ashanti NPP chairman. The Ghanaian publisher Ashanti Roots for Bawumia says it's the choice of the grassroots. Show me love tomorrow, Akoto to delegates. The Daily Statesman, who play in the top 5. NPP superdelegates decide on aspiring flag bearers tomorrow. The Herald says NPP bars election day campaign by executives, government officials, presidential aspirants, and also says Bawumia's election will kill Akan only propaganda against NPP, says Ejapa Mesa. The Inquisitor says NPP superdelegates Congress tomorrow. Loud victory for DMB. Samuel Oku predicts. The Informer. Bawumia cures NPP Akan tag. Akomia. Okay. And the New Weekend Crusading Guide. Grassroots say we should vote for Bawumia Ashanti NPP chairman. Show me love on Saturday. Afriya Akoto's last appeal to the 961 superdelegates of the NPP. The Daily Guide says Ashanti constituency chairman root for Bawumia. Delegates barred from displaying cast ballot. Ghanaian Times, NPP presidential primary superdelegates decide tomorrow. 5 out of 10 candidates to make it to the next round. And, well, there's nothing on the front page of the Daily Graphic. So, tomorrow, 961, you are one of the 961.
Yes, yes, for very good reasons. But I think that I'm always very objective when it even comes to assessing my own party-related issues, and I would say that the media coverage or the editorial work hasn't been very good. And I say this out of one key thing, that this is not sort of a winner-takes-all thing for tomorrow. And it seems as if it's been posited that way. This is a selection of 5 people out of 10, and I think the narrative is almost making it like who wins tomorrow, which rather should be which 5 people gets selected, and that is my thinking that it should be looked at more carefully. I mean, that is what it is. It's not about any one individual. Clearly, from a lot of indications, the Vice President will garner many more votes than the other aspirants, but that is based on how the setup has been, and it's not going to be, let me say, anything unusual with regards to how it's been set up in terms of those who qualified to vote, and the fact that a lot of them have been sort of pre-selected based on their allegiance or alignment with the visions of the Vice President. So that is what my take on tomorrow's event. At any rate, I'm troubled also by the fact that there's a lot of anxiety for some people with regards to tomorrow's voting, anxiety for people who are voting, and anxiety obviously for those who will be voted out. But through it all, I'm hoping that the culture of democracy within the party lives on, and that is the most important thing, so that we work hard to make sure that the spirit of democracy in the MPP is maintained, and that's what I'm hoping for tomorrow.
In the interactions, either on this program or scanning the media, it looks like there's a certain mindset that tilts towards, and I think that your leader in Parliament has even alluded to it, that if there's, say, an outright winner, or somebody wins a huge majority, then, I mean, it ought to be game over. The party should just agree.
I have a very different opinion.
Why?
In the sense that the British just played it out, where the establishment's candidate lost to the grassroots candidate, just the current Prime Minister. And before that, there's been many instances where the House rules in a certain direction, and then the general election, the winner of the initial superdelegate loses. So the sentiments of, let me say, even 1,000 out of 208,000 cannot be, superior to the majority. And I think that if we truly want to practice democracy, then if that be the case, then there shouldn't have been even a need for the November 4th date. Then we should have all known that, we have just a super delegation thing, and then that's it. But in the wisdom of democracy and the wisdom of running the constitution of the party, there's a reason, because anybody can hijack the super delegate, and when you hijack the super delegate, it might not be necessarily the will of the people, and I think that I believe strongly, and I've come to appreciate dissenting minds, and I said it here before that there's been many dissenting minds about decisions that now have rather gone in favor of those who dissented at a certain point in time. And from a legal standpoint, when it's even 6-1, always pay attention to that one and listen to what that one says, because sometimes there's a wealth of wisdom in what that one dissenting mind is. I can cite the likes of the affirmative action. I can cite the likes of Roe versus Wade. When these were brought into the world, there were dissenting minds at the time. Fast track several years down. Now the same Americans have, turned, over what Roe versus Wade was. So clearly there's room in governance for all legal world for the dissenting minds, and I've really come to appreciate. As we sit here, one of the dissenting minds in the past was Dan Rocha, and I think that interestingly, though he's probably truly ashes now in his grave, the things that he said and dissented to in terms of monocracy is now being played out so clearly, and many people are now appreciating the wisdom of some of the things he said at the time, which was just about 30 plus years ago. So I think that and hope that this one it's helping our democracy mature, and we're learning a lot from this contest in terms of how things are playing out. But I hope that ultimately, and the decision rests in the November 4th, outcome. Ultimately, people would choose, and I hope on the lines of long service, somebody who can really unify the party, and somebody who can take us, hopefully, to give NDC a very solid contest for 2024. And then ultimately, if possible, that we maintain an MPP administration, for another term.
What do you make of this thing about the need to vote in a direction that deals with the Akan tag?
I have said this countless times that I don't think the NDC would ever go to the Ashanti region to pick an Ashanti man.
Why not?
For flag bearer.
Why not?
And listen, I have looked at, for instance, California benefits because they stay true blue. States in the U.S. that stay true to what they are. When the Republicans are in, Utah knows that, hey, we are on top because we always stay red, and it is highly unlikely that the Republican Party, for instance, would choose somebody from their, weak holds. And whether we like it or not, politics is about strongholds and weak holds. I mean, you can't do anything about it. And since it's a game of numbers, there's nothing wrong, I think, from looking at, business and political administration. There's nothing wrong with picking strictly from where you have a higher chance of people rallying around your candidate. So if, and let me say this.
So what do you make of this argument that, look, the Akan is our base. They will willy-nilly vote for us anyway. We rather need votes from the non-Akan areas. So we pick somebody who's non-Akan. One, it demonstrates that we are not an Akan party, quote unquote. A non-Akan can lead us. One. Two, getting a non-Akan to lead us also helps us take a lot of votes from those non-Akan areas, because as for Akan votes, it's banker. It will definitely come.
Well, I was for President's trial of 2016 to 2020, where invariably he turned a blind eye to where your strongholds were and did development with a blind eye to his strongholds. And listen, in as much as we pumped a lot into Zongo development, the truth is out that the Zongos did not turn out for us. You understand? So I believe in doing what has been historically repeated, and the historical repetition of things is that those who are likely to vote for you would prefer to vote in a certain way, and I don't think we've tagged the NDC as let me say, an Ewe party. And if even we tag it as an Ewe party, so what? They truly largely vote for the NDC. And is there anything wrong with that? And if the MPP, quote unquote, I mean, if we're tagged as an Akan party in the sense that the Akans vote largely for the MPP.
I even find that a bit problematic.
Okay.
Because if you say Akan,
thank you.
I mean, who really are you referring to? You're perhaps talking about maybe 2/3 of the entire country. I hope you understand.
You have a strong point, yeah.
Yes, because if you look at say the NDC, somebody from Volta has led the party. Somebody from Western Central region has led the party. Somebody from up north has led the party. If you take the MPP,
correct,
you've had somebody from Eastern leading the party. You've had somebody from Ashanti leading the party. Right. You've had somebody from Bono leading the party. You've had somebody from Eastern region, really, leading the party. Because if you stretch Akan, you could even be adding perhaps you probably will be talking about, let's say, maybe some 10 regions or so. Yes, about 9 regions, 9 regions or so. And saying Akan is different from saying Ashanti or Achim.
Exactly, yes. Exactly. So I really think that, to be very honest, I personally don't even see anything wrong when you are a reflection of your base. If you get what I'm saying, it's like telling the Democrats, say, Georgians never vote for you. I mean, it's a fact. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see how there's a problem with that.
Have you lost elections because you are seen as Akan? Or is there an impression that if you were seen as a party that would be led by even non-Akans, perhaps you could win every election?
Well, the verdict will be out there for us to see, because I even worry, by a stretch of imagination that, listen, in truthfulness, the MPP has even extended, let me say, an olive leaf or branch to the northern region by fielding 2 vice presidents. The NDC hasn't, never fielded, that, and still.
Mahama was a vice president.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, that's the one time. Let me say, but we have done it twice.
Well, they have fielded candidates, just that they didn't win. Yeah.
Which is still
because they had Mati Amidu, they had Mohamed Mumuni.
So if you look at it, we have actually won elections with
twice,
and even with that,
in fact 4 times.
Yes, you can. Even with that, it hasn't yielded heavily. If you look at even the last elections, was funny in the sense that here was Mahama talking about mortuaries, quote unquote, in the Zongos, and we were talking about education and sponsorship and all of these things, and yet still, we didn't garner as much.
But there
votes.
are those who also look at the data and say that the number of seats that you have up north has appreciated, and in fact, by virtue of the creation of new regions, there's a particular region where you have the majority of seats. I mean, sometimes when you're comparing, you should take into context the fact that you are comparing when regions have been carved out of existing regions. So sometimes you need to clear that base. Yeah.
But one seat in Accra, like Ashaiman, literally obliterates.
But
like 6.
in Parliament, it becomes
I'm looking at the votes,
especially when you're doing 137, 137.
Yes. But I'm looking at the votes, and we have to ask ourselves how much monies went into getting those seats, and would it have given us more votes elsewhere? And I always argue that if I put 10 cents in my stronghold, I'll appreciate in terms of more votes. Then, and that one, you can argue anyways, that if the NDC puts money in the Volta region, they'll get more votes than the MPP for the same money. I can cite, and forgive me, Ningo Pram Pram really disappointed me in the sense that our First Lady did a lot for Ningo Pram Pram in the last election. And still, Ningo wouldn't move.
Oh, your votes are appreciated.
Not, but
your
but
votes
you,
appreciated,
I mean,
but you widened.
Yes. So I mean, that just proves my point that the ounce that you put in your stronghold appreciates.
Okay.
If it is bred a bit too more than in your weak holds, and these are. I mean, I'm being very objective about these assessments. Nothing wrong, but we can do trial in a different way. But I think that 2020's results told me that, listen, in as much as we might want to experiment, the good old rules still matter, and I would appease clients who come repeatedly over clients who come one-off.
Okay.
And that is my business model, and I believe that would work. That would inure more to my benefit, and I'll wait till the day where the NDC will field an Ashanti candidate. I mean, in the sense that it's going to be ridiculous for them.
Why?
You to fill from your weakest hold. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
know.
So well, let's hear from the Ashanti who's unrepentant NDC.
Who's doing special things now?
No, I've had people send me messages. They say it's not special duties, it's ways and means.
The
football people, ways and means something else.
Yeah.
Okay, special duties. And special duties, there are duties that are special.
Okay.
So if ways and means...
Anything special is a duty.
Yes, of course.
It's a subset.
Right, Broja, let me hear you on this, on the super delegates and issues arising thereof.
I first of all, I want to deal with where Honorable ended. The politics of the regional representation or your strength, for me, every political party is supposed to be democratic. And so when you are going into an election, what the people want is what the party puts forward. And so if, for example, in our last presidential primaries, there were 3 Ashantis who were contesting. Honorable Kojo Bonsu, Honorable Kwabena Dufo, and our brother who came from London is also from Mampong. If the delegates decided to vote for them, they will be the candidates for the party. And so we don't really do, we are not really interested in the regionalism and the ethnic background and all that. Once the party people decide that this is the person we want to go with, we are good to go. And the whole party will rally behind that person for the elections. And that is manifest in the various candidates we have fielded since 1992.
Oh, okay.
President Rawlings is from Volta region. But we took him to an election and won twice. President Atta Mills is from Central region. We took him to an election. We won in 2008 after 2 defeats. President Mahama is from Northern region, today Savannah region. He served as president and he's our candidate. So if tomorrow after President Mahama, an Ashanti or an Achim or Egan is interested in running for president and the delegates vote for him, the entire party we will not have the difficulty.
No, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we will not support whoever
No, that's not the point I'm making. What I'm saying is that you should not even go into that politics in the first place. Because I've heard...
That's shocking.
I've been reading from the newspapers, and you see that consistently the vice president camp is painting a picture that his election will cure a certain stigma.
That's probably the right word.
So for them, that is negative. That to say that largely Akans support you or vote for you, for them, it's negative for that perception to be out there. So what do you do if you vote for Bawumia? You cure that negative. We really don't go into that. But we wish you well. Tomorrow, you are going for a super delegates conference, or is there a congress?
Well, it's
I do not see the need for this super delegates conference because, look, in 2007, when 17 aspirants, everybody was rushing to succeed President Kufuor, and that really angered the Ghanaian people. You could see that the sentiment was not good. And so you try to create a different impression by introducing the super delegates thing. And because we were in opposition and not many people were filing for it, we didn't really see how the super delegates have been in the past. But today you are in power and 10 persons have shown up. And between the super delegates election and the main election is just 2 months. And nobody can use that 2 months to go across the country and speak to over 200,000 persons. And so you would see that the candidates are visiting the delegates for the November 4th whilst waiting for August 26th. And it really doesn't make sense after going to campaign to persons that you would not appear to in an election. And so it makes nonsense of this whole super delegates thing. Because the 900,000 persons who are going to vote tomorrow, 961.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will all vote again in November 4th. So what's the sense in this super delegates thing? So
they don't want the spectacle of having those numbers.
But we are still seeing the numbers. As of today, we know that 10 persons want to succeed President Akufo-Addo. Only that between 2 months, we will see the number cut from 10 to 5. But we have seen it. It's now public.
And then probably
the news is
lesser
out there.
than 5. Maybe after tomorrow, there are some who will be in the 5 who will decide that, look, on the basis of the numbers, we don't want to go any longer. That's what happened the last time they had a delegates conference. There were 2 of the persons in the 5 who, even after being part of the 5, then declined to contest in the main election.
Yes, Doc, these things you can use the vetting system or the nomination system to reduce the numbers. Because if you are tasked to collect signatures of a certain number of party persons and you are not able to do, the nomination system takes you out. And so once these persons have gone through the nomination system, the superdelegates system really, for me, does not solve the problem that they want to. Only that they wanted to create a certain picture at the time. But time has really exposed that there's no relevance today. But what the majority leader, for example, has said is exposing the desperation that I see from some of the aspirants in the superdelegate system. Because I see that some persons are much more interested in this election than the November 4th. And so for the majority leader to say that, look, if somebody is able to garner, say, 60% of the superdelegates' total votes, then there's no need for anybody to contest the person. And so
that's his view.
Well, that's undemocratic.
But it's his view.
That's undemocratic.
It's his view.
And for me, I see it as a political strategy.
It's also undemocratic to deny him his opinion.
Of course, I'm not. I'm only criticizing that opinion. I see it as a strategy to put his candidate forward without competition.
Who is his candidate?
Well, that's obvious. He's been campaigning for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the Ashanti bigwigs. You see some of them who want running mates. A lot of them are tilting towards Dr. Bawumia because yes, of course, and I think that's is not selfish, but a self-interest agenda. They think that if an Ashanti candidate wins, a lot of them, their presidential ambitions is shattered for the next 8 or so years. So,
wow.
That's
an insight I didn't have.
Yeah, okay.
What you just said is an insight I didn't
have. So with the candidate from another region or another part of the country, even as they get a slot for, and I don't see why NPP will take a northern candidate and will not go to Ashanti for a running mate.
Yeah.
That would be more suicidal.
I didn't know.
And so by all means, if Dr. Bawumia is a candidate.
Sure you didn't know?
Now I understand. Now I understand something.
Maybe you knew.
Very interesting.
You didn't think that you could say it.
No.
I knew, but I didn't want to be the one to say it.
No, we're you know?
And so, Doc, that's what it is. And so that's why there's that push for Dr. Bawumia.
In fact, I didn't know.
To lead.
Wow.
And to come back to the various candidates, we know that, the first 3 will be Bawumia, Alan, Kennedy, Japan. I don't know the 2 that may likely join.
How do you know?
They are the front runners. And we've seen some moves.
What you read in the media.
We've seen some moves. No, we are on the ground, though, and we talk to
competitive analysis.
People. Yes, so. and we have seen the moves that people are making towards tomorrow. They are meeting the delegates, the envelopes that are going out. We are hearing all of them.
Transportation.
And so you see those that are really keen on what happens tomorrow, and those who think that we are in, if we become part of it, that's fine. And so we wish them well. For us, there's no candidate among the 10 who possesses a special strength that will be a threat, an electoral threat to the NDC. All of them have served with President Akufo-Addo. They've served in various positions. They are all part of the NPP. And so they cannot run away from the record. The
excellent record.
The field record, as we know. Because even campaigning to their own people, you see everybody running away from the record. Everybody is trying to say we're not part. I've listened to the messages of Dr. Bawumia, who appears to create a new vision, which is somehow different from the government that he has served in. I've heard Alan say that there were a lot of things he said which were not listened to, which could have changed the situation. So all of them, directly or indirectly, admit that this government is a failure. And once you all contributed to that failed government, you cannot run away from it and claim to now have a new vision that will turn Ghana. We still have 1 year to the election. If you have any vision, you go to cabinet and then put that forward for the country to progress. So we think that any of them that comes out will not be able to match the record of former President Mahama.
Now, you once contested parliamentary elections for the Swami constituency. You're not contesting again.
No, I'm not contesting again.
Okay, but I'm sure you read that the majority leader says he's under pressure to contest again.
Look, I said this 3 weeks ago. You know, Yes, I was born in Swami.
Yes.
I grew up in Swami, everything. And
you're from a famous family.
By the way, we are having a homecoming event in December.
Swami homecoming.
Yeah, Swami homecoming.
Okay.
And I'll call on
your
all the
persons. Will be ready then.
We're hoping so.
we are told that the money didn't come, and they are looking for other sources.
They found a source.
I know the majority leader. He's a career politician.
Yeah.
And he will only, hang his boots when he is physically not strong to play the active role. And so when I heard that he was no longer going to run, I laughed at it and I said, look, it's a strategy. He's been using this since '96 when he was elected as a parliamentary candidate. And so when he does that, the pressure moves away from him. And you see that the internal politics, his name doesn't come up. And then he tries to come back again through another strategy. He's been telling his constituents about why the party people are putting pressure on him, and it's only the unwise who will not change his mind. He uses, these tactics to tell the people that he may likely come back. And I see him coming back. If he doesn't get a running mate, he will still be there.
Okay.
Yes, if he doesn't get a running mate, he will still contest. And so those who are going to
contest is January. The primary is in January.
Yes, but the selection
you
of
don't
a
know the
mate
selection of running mate may be in December after the election. So, so he will contest. He will contest. I was very surprised when people really believed that Honorable Chairman Sir will not go back to Parliament. I mean, we have to believe that statement only when maybe he's been nominated to be Speaker or running mate or something. But for Chairman Sir to stay at home and not play a frontal role in
but he doesn't need to.
I mean, I don't see anybody who believe that.
It doesn't need to be only MP to play a frontal role.
Yeah. Of course, yes, but when people have ambitions, they work towards it. And not playing a frontal role will really affect such an ambition.
It's his big brother.
He knows him better than myself. I'm actually surprised. Today he's opened my eyes.
You and I are not from Swami.
Not at all.
We are from Swami, so we know. We know.
Wow.
Anyway. But yes. You mentioned something about the interchange. They've gone ahead to demolish buildings and clear off, especially the artisans in Swami Magazine
in anticipation
by the roadside.
In anticipation of a construction.
And even the center of a construction site, which is the runabout, there's nothing going on there.
Yeah, I think they say they are trying to tie up the pieces with the funding.
When the president stood at that same spot and said that they were going to build the interchange to shame everybody who is saying that they are not doing anything in Ashanti.
The
Swami interchange, together with the Amroga interchange, has been in all budgets of this administration. And
don't worry.
They go to break things down, cut, and nothing happens.
There's still some 15 months. So
there's still hope.
So it's possible. I mean, never mind that now you can find the Akrante's grass cutter, right? That's it.
Yes, grass cutter. Yes.
Okay, so never mind that now you can find grass cutter.
Yeah, people took it at the hospital site. Yes.
Now you can.
Even at Swami, there were radio stations
for the first time in 40 years
that decided to go read the place, and because people were getting access and exposing it, they've now fenced the place.
No, it's now been absorbed into.
Yeah, you guys are just doing propaganda.
It's a funding thing. It's very sad.
And very sad. But you see, the truth of the matter is that even ongoing projects have been affected by the debt default. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if even ongoing ones have been affected, then you can imagine new ones.
I don't know who caused them.
Funding. Oh, I'm not talking about the who cause and matter. As for the who cause and we all know.
Yes.
Yeah, we all know.
COVID.
Huh? Oh, COVID cause
COVID. And Putin. You know their thing crashed on the moon. Russia's
we'll be back shortly. Is that why you are going to Nigeria?
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Over 18 years in business, Appointed Time Printing Limited has delivered quality service to some of Ghana's well-known brands. With our equipment capacity, we are able to deliver 1,500 pieces of polo and t-shirts in 1 hour. This is only possible with us. For retailers and wholesalers, we offer for sale high-quality polo shirts and t-shirts in different colors at affordable prices. We have a one-stop shop for all creative designs and billboards, 3D signages, flexi banners, car branding, stickers and posters. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Appointed Time GH. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with a prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs. In just 12 months, our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options. It's time to unlock your potential and take flight. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or dial 0263 888 555. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today.
Now here, TV, fridge, freezer, air condition, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, and iron. Seven Hisense smartphone no sukradia. Yeah, titi so more than a Hisense factory direct promo. It's in your madada noa. Emma light bill kuno. Pasi baby. Never for 28 August, I copy him 2nd September. Be here way showroom no. Saturday at no. Sana yet on. Wait dear. Ya titi swap broso. Who? Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Currencies depreciate when the fundamentals are wrong. Right. And the mismanagement of this economy in terms of the fundamentals is what was driving the depreciation of the currency. You can't be running double-digit deficits, double-digit current account and fiscal deficits, borrowing to this extent, financing your deficit with huge printing of money from the central bank, right, and expect your currency to be stable. The fundamentals will not support it.
Right.
It will not support
for a bailout. Well, the president says it's policy credibility, not a bailout. What should go in there? Because along the line with your predictions and the lectures you gave, you said that if things don't go well, that is where we might have to go. If we're going for a bailout, what are we asking for?
Well, I think I did make the point, I think, in my last major lecture in Ghana, that if the government doesn't take certain decisions, we will end up with a request for a bailout from the IMF. And this is exactly what has happened. Mismanagement has consequences.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have, I start with me, Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi and Yao Broja GMF. And there's up to 67% discounts on electronic appliances from top brands such as Samsung, LG Move, NASCO, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. And who's making this available is the Makers Electronics Company Limited. They have quality but affordable electronic appliances with 2 years manufacturer defect warranty. So just pay them a visit at their showrooms at Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasaman Zongo Junction, Oyo Ifate Mamboga Junction, Kaswa New Market, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumasi Ahinima Kokobin, Takrade Fie Kuma number 9 Market, and you can reach the Makers Electronics Company Limited on 055-22-222-53 or 055-22-222-54. The Makers Electronics Company Limited, large and in charge with quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics. Terms and conditions do apply. And are you ready to get way more back with Betway in the new season? Use the golden booking code that you can find on the Betway site and place your risk-free bet from 25th to the 27th of August. Guaranteed to give you 100% back as a free bet up to 50 cedis if you lose. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and is not for persons under the age of 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, bet your way. Now, brother, I was congratulating you on your appointment, but there are quite a lot of appointments to NDC leadership. And this statement signed by the General Secretary of the party, they were here on Wednesday. The party came to meet us here on Wednesday. So I think they are going around media houses.
Meeting with key media
so the General Secretary and other top-ranking officials met us here on Wednesday. Okay, so at the close of the meeting, the National Executive Committee of the NDC approved the appointment of following party members to occupy key positions in the party. Vice Chairman, Professor Joshua Alabi, Dr. Samuel Sapon, Abdul Rauf Khalid. National Treasurer, Alex Treme. Deputy Treasurer, Thomas A.C. Kuma. National Executive Committee appointments, Molieni Mado, Margaret Anse Mago, George Kwesi Bimbi, Godfred Apasina Wumbe Yellow, Alhaji Yaya Kundo, Ransford Chatman Vaniamwa. The party leadership at the same meeting gave approval for the following new directorates to be established to enhance the party's administrative efficiency. Directorate for Conflict Resolution, Directorate for Logistics stroke Protocol, Directorate for Interparty stroke CSO Relations, Directorate for Welfare. And the following have also been appointed to be in charge of the following directorates. Director Administration, Emmanuel Zumakbe. And then you have Director International Relations, Alex Segbefia. Deputies, Dr. Carl Makahin and Mami Ifua Sechi Edu. Director Communications, Kakre Samwa. Deputy Obobia Dako Opoku. Director Elections stroke IT, Dr. Edward Omani Buama. So the two have been put together.
Yes.
That's quite sensible. Deputies for elections, Maddi Jibril and Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Deputies IT, Dr. George Atabuati and Wisdom Yaya Deku. Director Legal, Godwin Kujo Tamaklo, FT. Deputies, Baba Jamal and George Lowe. Director Research, Professor Francis Dodu. Deputies, Prosper Hotu and Dr. Justice Moses Kia Heto. Director Special Duties, Vincent Kwagbenu. And Deputies, Caesar Kao, Broja Jemfi, Mohammed Atta Natogma. Director Conflict Resolution, Abraham Amaliba, and his deputy, Daniel Amate. Then you have Director Interparty stroke CSO Relations, Dr. Peter. And so, Right, welcome back to the show, and apologies for the technical issues. It's resolved now, and I guess that we can continue the show. Apologies once again. So I was reading now the appointments to the NDC leadership assigned by the General Secretary of the party. So for Vice Chairman, we now have Professor Joshua Alabi, Dr. Samuel Sapon, Abdul Rauf Khalid, National Treasurer Alex Treme, Deputy Treasurer Thomas Eisi Kuma, NEC appointments, or the National Executive Committee appointments, Moleni Mado, Margaret Ansei Mago, George Kwesi Bimbi, Godfrey Apasina Wumbe, Yellow, Alaji Ayakundo, Ransford Chatman, Vaniamwa. The party leadership at the same meeting gave approval for the following new directorates to be established to enhance the party's administrative efficiency: Director for Conflict Resolution, Directorate for Logistics and Protocol, Directorate for Interparty /CSO Relations, Directorate for Welfare. The following have also been appointed to be in charge of these directorates: Administration, Emmanuel Zumakbe, Director International Relations, Alex Egbefia, Deputies Dr. Karl Makahin, Mamiefu Asichi Edu, Director Communications, Kakre Sama, Deputy Obobia Dakun Opoku, Director Elections /IT, Dr. Eduardo Maniboama, Deputies for Elections, Madi Jibril and Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, Deputies IT, Dr. George Atabuati and Wisdom Yaradeku, Director Legal, Godwin Kujo Tamaklo, FT, Deputies Baba Jamal, George Lowe, Director Research, Professor Francis Dodu, Deputies Prosper Hotu, Dr. Justice Moses Kiaheto, Director Special Duties Vincent Kwagbenu, Deputy Cesar Broja Jemfi, Mohammed Atana Togma, Director Conflict Resolution, Abraham Amaliba, Deputy Daniel Amate, Director Interparty /CSO Relations, Dr. Peter Buamotokuno, Deputy Mary Ewusi, Director Welfare Vida Day, Deputy William Atamuji, Director Logistics /Protocol Ludwig Loger, my very good friend, Abeokuta Koliakra. Deputies Mohammed Kweku Doku and Amanda Ochiri. Okay, and I saw my Joy Online report, which has an interesting twist to this to this appointment. I'm trying to get the report. For me, I think that's where that's what I want you to speak to. Not just the names, not just the names there, but I'll find that my Joy Online report pretty shortly. It's giving a certain interesting angle. Okay, so it says that, like I said, that story is on myjoyonline.com, and it's speaking about a certain grip on the party as a result of these appointments.
The one about Mahama Titans. Yes, something. Yes.
So I will want to know from you. So it says that news coming in from the National Executive Committee meeting of the NDC shows how strategically John Mahama intends to prosecute the 2024 election, says party insiders. Indications from Thursday's meeting. So this meeting was held just yesterday?
Yes, yesterday.
Okay. Confirms that one of the key right men of Mr. Mahama, former Communications Minister Dr. Eduardo Maniboama, will be leading the party's merged Elections and IT Directorate. This is a smart political move because Omaniboama is a true Mahama loyalist. It shows that Mahama wants to control the election management and monitoring process. Omaniboama, beyond being a former Minister of Communications and knowledgeable about IT solutions and operations, was a deputy campaign coordinator for the successful 2012 parliamentary and presidential elections. He also played a critical role in the 2008 election. He will indeed be protecting John Mahama's interest in this campaign. The most unambiguous indication, however, that Mahama is hungry and ready for the elections and for power in 2025 is what can be described as the solid appointments he and the national chairman and general secretary settled on for the elections and research directorates of the party. A directorate has been filled with members of the John Mahama elections management team that supervises presidential primaries. That team also worked with the party to coordinate the D-Day activities and succeeded in collating and publishing in record time results from the Asin North parliamentary by-election which James Jachikweshin defeated MPP in June. This includes Dr. George Atabwatin, the former Director General of the National Information Technology Agency, NITA, and Mahama, one of the 4 new deputy directors. He was vital in setting up the National Data Center and the rollout of many government-to-citizens and government-to-business IT applications. Yaya Koku, a deputy director, is another solid IT person, a whiz-kid in the National Identification Authority engine room, but sacked by the MPP when they came into office. Madi Jibril and Dr. Tanko Computer make up the 4 deputy directors. Leading the research director of the party with Professor Emeritus Francis Dodu, the former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, and yet another Mahama loyalist described by many as a brilliant and technically astute professional. Professor John Bright and Prosper Otu will assist him. And it says retaining their positions are key Mahama loyalists in the setup. Alessegbe Segwefi as Director of International Relations, one of the finest and most credible voice of the NDC, Kakre Samoa as Director of Communications, and his deputy Oboboya Daku Opoku. And they go on the other appointments. Professor Labi, who was the campaign manager, lawyer Dujita Maklo, Vincent Kwagbenu, Broja Jemfi, and Dr. Peter Otokuno. So according to it says Mahama tightens grip on NDC with new party appointments.
That's a mischievous headline. But let me first appreciate the party. Yesterday, the National Executive Committee met and took these decisions, among other things. And as you read the statement from the General Secretary, there are about 12 directorates of the party that needed hands to help assist the national executives in this regard, the Functional Executive Committee, to help execute the agenda ahead of us. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve the party once again after serving in various and different capacities. So on behalf of all those who are going to occupy these positions, we thank the National Executive Committee, the National Chairman, the General Secretary, and the entire leadership, as well as the leader of the party, who is the flag bearer. We are grateful. Look, for me, President Mahama is the leader of the NDC. He's a flag bearer, and it is his vision that we are going to sell to the people of Ghana. And so it's important that all the persons who are going to work towards that vision have undivided loyalty to the vision and the man himself. Of course, he stands on the ticket of a party. And so all persons who are going to serve must be members of the party who are committed to the cause of the party. And so to that extent, I do not see anything wrong in seeing a lot of people who have loyalty towards the leader and the leadership of the party. If you go through the list, you'll see that 4 new directorates have been created. Directorate for Conflict Resolution was created yesterday by NEC. A Directorate for Logistics, which is headed by your good friend Ludwig. Yes. My former boss, Ludwig served as Deputy National Youth Organizer under the leadership of Honorable Haruna Idrisu. He served together with the Honorable Kofi Adams as the Deputy National Youth Organizer and became the National Youth Organizer. And we know that he served with Professor Mills when he was in government, in charge of his scheduling activities. And so I strongly believe that he will be able to lead the logistics and protocol directorate. And what many people do not know about Ludwig is that he has a lot of international network and connections. And for me, this will really help in getting the party the needed logistics to prosecute the agenda ahead of us. The Directorate for Interparty CSOs, Dr. Peter Boamo Otokuno, former Deputy General Secretary of the party, former Deputy Director of Research, And I worked with him together with many other people in the recently held presidential primaries of a party, working in the elections management committee for President Mahamad's campaign. And so a lot of the people that you see in there, we've been working closely together in recent time. And so it's going to be a matter of teamwork. See Professor Joshua Alabi, who is a former campaign manager, Dr. Samuel Sapon, of course, a former minister and former head of the defunct Serious Fraud Office. He headed Ashanti and Bruno together in the past. Very experienced persons. Honorable Alex Sheme is a former deputy education minister. He served as DC, he's been a member of parliament. The NEC appointment really excites me. Very dynamic young ladies in there. I see Margot as a NEC member. I see Yellow, too, a very huge personality in Northern Region. He contested for the Northern Regional Chairmanship position twice, and he showed strength. The Northern Region, as regional executives, really supported that he should be brought on board at the national level. A young Ransford Chatman Vaniamwa, congratulations to him, a very young guy from the Central Region, being added up in there. And our Director of Administration has served in that position for a very long time. Alex Sebefia, experienced and worked as the chairman of the NDC UK Ireland chapter, Deputy Chief of Staff. He served in that position in the last 4 years. Kalahin has been working with him. Amefua, former Deputy National Women's Organizer, is back. Lawyer Kakri Samoa, one of our veteran, experienced communication persons around. He's still there, Obobia, ably supported by him. I see other Godwin Tamaklu, the chairman of FTs. Congratulations to him. For me, he has served in many of the public interest cases that I've taken to the Supreme Court and other administrative bodies like SHRAJ. He's really helped me. He served as my counsel pro bono without taking any charges. And so for him, he's already doing that job for the party. He's always available for the party. So serving in that position, I am very excited for him. Director of Research, Professor Francis Dodu. Professor Francis Dodu, in 2020, when the party was preparing for the People's Manifesto, the flag bearer formed some working groups to help advise him on various sectors. And one of the sectors was employment, youth and sports. And I served on that working group. And Professor Dodu was the chairman for that group. And so I worked with him in that regard, very meticulous, and having such a person head the research department, it was going to be good for us.
Academic
yes, the former pro VC of Ghana's premier university. So yes, it's good for the party. Prosper has been working in research and other training activities for the party, working closely with the FES, Frederick Herbert Foundation, and so I think he will help serve that. Dr. Ahito too is there. My boss, my direct boss for special duties, Vincent Kwabenu, former director for
my neighbor.
NSS, National Service. He served as chief executive for National Youth Employment Agency. And recently, I worked very closely with him during the presidential primaries for former President Mahama. He headed one of the committees that I served in. And also in Asen North, he led our team to Asen North. And so working with him again, I know what he has got to offer. Abraham Amaliba for conflict resolution, and then Daniel Amate, former Deputy Director of Elections, serving with Lawyer Amaliba. The big news for me is the Director of Elections and IT. And I am very happy that the party has merged the Elections Directorate and the IT Directorate. These are directorates that are supposed to work together, closely together. And many times their plans and strategies must kind of go together. And so having the IT Directorate and have a director for it and have a director for elections sometimes conflicts the rules and creates unnecessary maybe power struggle or leadership show off. And so putting this together, not under any other person than Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, for me, is one stroke that the party has gotten right. And all the persons serving with him. On the presidential primaries, Dr. Omane Boamah was an integral part of the election management committee that ran the campaign for former President Mahama. And I have worked with him. I worked with him in 2016 when I was a parliamentary candidate, when he was a Minister for Communications. He played a vital role in the campaign. And I know how meticulous he is. In fact, you cannot be a medical doctor without paying attention to details. So I like that about him. Anything that is presented on the table, he wants to understand every bit of it and what each line means to the collective plan and how to achieve that. And so he's good. And for me, heading the Elections Directorate, it shows that the NDC is really ready for power. And we cannot fill the masses, as the usual cliche.
I pity those who are going to be working with him.
Yes, you need to be a workaholic. You need to be ready for the job.
Extremely disciplined
to work with Dr. Omane Boamah, and he's results oriented. And for me,
his own children, as young as they are, the way he pushes them, he tasks them.
And that's good. That's good for the party, because you see, we are going into an election with an opponent that is desperate.
It doesn't do anything apart from reading and working and researching and writing. He's up at 3 a.m. He doesn't do all the things that you do as Swami.
And you see, working with Dr. Omane Boamah,
one machete.
If you present a report to him, you see, your report will come back with highlights, and showing what needs to be done correctly. And so I think that those who are going to work with him, Mahdi, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, he has been at the Elections Directorate for a while. Mahdi, former Deputy National Organizer, worked with the Elections Directorate in the past. Dr. George Atabuatin and Yara Beku were part of the Presidential Primaries Elections Management Committee. And so they have been working very, very close with Dr. Omane Boamah. And so I don't see any difficulty in them working, and so the systems they came up with.
The man immediately issues a statement.
Yes, showing that he's ready.
I humbly accept my appointment as Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress. I'm excited to work with an excellent election management and IT team. Our team has proven itself and demonstrated viability and promise in the recent NDC presidential primaries in Asin North constituency parliamentary by-election to our leader in 2024 flag bearer, President John Dramani Mahama, Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketi, and the entire NDC leadership and supporters, I promise to work tirelessly and contribute my best to secure victory for the party and all Ghanaians in the 2024 elections. With my experience at the NDC's Deputy Campaign Coordinator for the 2012 presidential and parliamentary elections, and my understanding of the impact of technology and unbiased research on modern-day elections, I commit to working loyally, cooperatively, strategically, meticulously, effectively, efficiently, and resiliently to help bring the NDC back to power on January 7, 2025. We did it together in 2008 and came out of opposition. We must repeat it in 2024 to build the Ghana we want together.
Yes.
I mean, the crafting of the statement itself should tell you that.
But Doc, you see, the current situation that we have and the posture of the NPP really tells that these guys are desperate to go the extra mile, whether by foul or fair means, to hang on to power. And so, as an opposition party, we must put our best foot forward. We must show the seriousness in the things we do. And so, this is good for us. And this, for me, is a well-grounded team. I was tempted to say that this is a solid team. But Dr. Bawumia has
you don't want to be
really undermine the meaning of solid.
Want to be jinxed.
I don't want to. So this is a well-grounded team, and for me, it shows the seriousness that we attach to the agenda ahead of us, and the NPP must really be worried that this crop of experience, very committed and loyal party faithfuls have been put together to assist the National Executive Committee to prosecute the 2024 agenda. And we cannot fail the masses. All that we can do is to deliver victory for the party. And if you look at the posture of the Electoral Commission as well, you need somebody like Dr. Omane Boamah at the front, because there are a lot of things that we need to change with our elections directorate. There are a lot of approaches that we need to adopt to be able to work with this current crop of Electoral Commission members who largely by their actions show that they want to perpetuate MPP's existence in power maybe forever. And so this is a good team to work towards it. And it's going to be interesting going forward with the NDC team against that of the NPP as we know already. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got this text from somebody who's also been there and has also prosecuted this. I believe that in 2012, it was the head of Dr. Omane Boamah. I'm talking about the Honorable Elvis Afriyankra.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so he has sent me this. He says, I'd like to congratulate all the officers who have been appointed by the National Executive Committee, particularly the Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Omane Boamah, and his deputies. I'm also very happy that the party has made the Elections and IT Directorates, which was one of the major recommendations of the Directorate during our review of the 2020 elections at whole. Once again, I wish them all very well. We must all rally together to ensure a decisive victory for the NDC in 2024. Victory beckons. So this is from the Honorable Elvis Afriyankra. Yes, look.
Yeah, it is commendable that the NDC is, put together these people. And one thing, I think part of the diagnosis of their, failure in the past was admission of truth in terms of the election results. And I think that this will do a plus for them in the sense that I believe that the new director will be very clear in his mind whatever values that come out. And that is very important, because I think the next election, being sure of the numbers that turn out to vote, and then being sure of the numbers that voted for you or for us, will be very critical. And I would hope that as part of this is to also be open to the fact that the results might hit you with distaste. And if that becomes the case, it's important that we stick to the true narrative in the end. And I think that whether win or lose, that is my only plea with the NDC, because the last election to date, maybe it's somewhere, I've still not seen your collated figures, and that is one of the albatrosses on the NDC, in the sense that you went to an election and the media houses had their collated numbers, and the NDC to date, to the extent that
I'm still waiting for your collated results for Asenoff. We haven't seen it.
To the extent that you went to court on the premise that the person you are accusing should provide you with collated data. So I can only hope that this will be a more repentant NDC. And let me, state one thing. You said the posture of the Electoral Commission. I have said in many forums that no serious party will depend or rely on the referee, or just like a game of sports. If I go into a match solely dependent on a referee to do things on my behalf, then that is a losing team. So it is important that I make it very clear to all Ghanaians that the MPP, one, has no intention to depend on the Electoral Commission to give us victory. Our intention is to make sure that we, give Ghanaians the true picture of the state of affairs in this country, and then the vision that the MPP has. And even in our small failures, the success story is big. There are many things that we've done that I think come 2024, by the time Ghanaians engage us more and we engage them more, things will be so obvious that the election decision will be very clear. And I pray that, more importantly, you upgrade your systems so that you can have your results in time and be able to agree or disagree with the verdict. And I believe that would make democracy far better in this country, and the merit of any case that you may take to the Supreme Court should, hold water, and that is my charge. My charge for the new leadership of the NDC is to not disappoint fans of the NDC, not disappoint, your following, because I personally, though I'm an opposition man, was frankly disappointed in your performance, especially when it came to coming out boldly that, hey, these are the numbers we collated. And it still beat my mind how any party in this world, any serious party in this world, can go to an election and then rather state that, oh, the Electoral Commission's numbers were changing over time. And it is mind-boggling, because over the several elections we've had, Afarijan could state that, listen, if even X amount comes on board, it will make a difference. And then he'd make a declaration of who has won the election. And then subsequent to that, a number of days after that, after validation of the results, then Electoral Commission states what the final numbers are. Even in the US, sometimes it takes actually a month after elections for the last and true results to come out. But it won't necessarily change the overall picture. So to make an argument, as you did in the past, that Electoral Commission was making adjustments as new data came out, I thought it was a very ridiculous argument, and I would hope that based on the better judgment of Dr. Buaba, who's very fair-minded, that those mistakes of the NDC and the propagandas which were made after the election victory of the MPP can not be repeated if you are dished out another loss. And that is very crucial for me. Your you should be you, your nay should be nay, and that makes the sports nice. I can see a race where, you know, the second guy has lost and still tries to make excuses and reasons, and that is not fair to the integrity of the sports. So these are election sports, and ultimately where the NDC failed last, which could have tipped the country into chaos, was the fact that you lost the election and yet you failed to, you know, agree. And you know, you should agree when you lose the election. You should take it in good faith when you've lost. You know, 500,000 votes, by no means small a measure, and nothing could have overturned that. And it is appropriate, and I will say this, it's appropriate, that in as much as we spar together, that when you've lost, you take it in good faith. And we need to also, out of this, I think we need to talk to the judicial services to also speed up their game. And I want, not as a member of parliament, but I want as a Ghanaian to also see that our judicial services is upping their game in anticipation of anything that can happen in terms of election issues come 2024. And I'll use this platform to charge them, you know, to let us have conversations in the media domain, showing that they too, they are putting, you know, their you know, eyes, their dots on their eyes and crossing their T's, so that they mash up. Ghana is, you know, our democracy is becoming better and better, but all the various institutions that matter in terms of election results have to, you know, be upping their game, and that also adds to one key thing, which I don't think I saw. Maybe I have to security, but maybe that would still fall under the elections director. It's important that, you know, we have an election void of violence and misreporting, because I have been very troubled by the fact that, you know, people who misbehaved and through no means of the police, you know, were shot, you know, where then the narrative was totally changed by the NDC, and these kinds of misreporting ought to be looked at. So I would hope that the new administration you have will try as much as possible to tell nothing but the truth during elections, and that is very important for me. And hopefully this time there's enough biscuits and
I think you've done enough of the propaganda.
Oh, what propaganda? I gave you time to talk. You went through. I'm not even going through line by line here. Because, you know, I've seen some good friends of mine here who, yes, you know, they are credible, and I must say that they know their jobs well, and you know, as you know, the likes of Alex Segbefia and things like that. So I'm hopeful that, you know, things will change. And granted, there are some in here who, you know, whether you dress, you know, in any other fashion, I don't think even with a doctorate they'll change their behavior. So but that's for another day to discuss. You know, that's for another day to discuss. So in summary, if all of this gives Ghanaian the impression that this time round the NDC will present the true election results and agree in principle when they've been dished out a loss, when they know it's a loss, that is what I want. This will be a testament of a more matured NDC, National Democratic Party, though they undemocratically selected their presidential flag bearer. But that is another argument. Kudos to you know, your selected flag bearer, former President Mahama, former president. Yeah.
Elected.
Sure. In a very interesting way. But yeah, so this is what I have.
No, just a minute to
to buttress
I
my
think that
point.
you've been fair with the list, and I'm happy that you testify to the integrity of some persons that you know on the list. And I believe that largely you think that there's a strong team that will deliver. But you see, you going into an election or any sport, yes, I agree with you. You don't have to solely rely on the referee, but sometimes you must rely on the fairness of the referee, because the referee is at the center to be fair and to play to the rules. And so when you see that there's a referee who can easily change your corners into throw-ins, then you need a different approach on the field. You don't, because sometimes it also has to do with the morale of the team. If you become more agitated and complaining every time on the field, it has an impact on the collective play. So I think that somebody like Dr. Mani Buama will be able to play that role. But it is also not true that we have never collated our results. That propaganda,
I didn't say never.
I think that you must end it.
I said last election.
And you do that for a purpose. The NDC has always collated our results. Our results are our results.
But not
the Electoral
made
Commission.
public.
The Electoral Commission is responsible for declaring presidential and parliamentary election
We've
results.
declared twice.
And
before
in
then.
the 2020 elections, in fact, no political party is encouraged to go ahead of the Electoral Commission and declare results, and some of the time to direct the what the Electoral Commission is supposed to do. And so the Electoral Commission is responsible for declaring the results.
Agreed.
They are supposed to give us very credible results, not what we saw in 2020, where they kept changing results every minute.
Real time.
In the Asenov by-elections, look, I was part of a team that Dr. Mani Buama also headed, By 6:59 after polls, we had 91 polling station results out of the 99. And your cameras were there. Metro TV was at our center to broadcast live to your viewers. And also in Kumawu, we had our results timely. But we are still waiting for the NPP's collated results for Asenov. We haven't seen it.
I said when you are losing an election or you've lost an election, you are not in a hurry
to show
anything.
You go at a snail's pace. You go at a snail's pace. We have the Kumawu one. We have the Kumawu one.
In the 2020 elections, though, we know what went on. We have done a review, as Honorable Elvis sent you. We went to Ho.
He sent me another one. He says I should tell Doc that the NPP-led security apparatus committed murder. Plain and simple.
Yes.
Says they murdered 8 people in cold blood. And he prays and hopes that the new leadership of the NDC will pursue these cases to their logical conclusion.
Fantastic.
Says those murderers must be brought to book.
Yes. Look, so we know what happened. We have reviewed the results. We know what the difference of a 500,000 came from. And the NPP must be worried, because that strategy will not work again in the 2024
people
elections,
voting for us,
where you print ballot papers and get people to put them in the ballot boxes. You did it. We arrested.
You do that better.
We arrested.
Than us, so
we arrested
surprised.
persons during the
They
2020 elections.
They do it better
than us.
You do it.
Also, you do it,
better.
but they do it better.
They do it better than us.
So there are reports at the police.
Understand?
In fact, the National Executive Committee has presented a petition to the Ghana Police Service. You remember when former President Mahama said that there were ballot papers that were stuffed into ballot boxes?
You do it better.
The deputy elections, I think one of the commissioners, Deputy Bosman Asare, challenged President Mahama. And we presented a petition to the Ghana Police Service, the CID headquarters. Up to today, they have not said anything about it, because they know that it is true. They did it. And so we know where your numbers come from.
Okay.
And this team will be there to ensure that the election is fair, it's free, we all have a level playing field, and we all play according to the rules. And so you have to be worried that your numbers may not come out as you say that you don't need Ashanti votes, because if even Ashanti does not vote, you know how to put the vote in the box.
Who said that?
Your former national youth organizer.
No.
National organizer.
That's not what he meant.
Samuel Uku has said that.
He didn't say that they know how to put the votes in.
No, he said they don't really need Ashanti vote. What does it mean? It means that the Ashanti votes will be in the box. They don't have to do anything to excite Ashanti.
That's your interpretation.
Exactly. That's the meaning
Maybe
of
you
what
can
he
say
said.
that he's taking those votes for granted.
But he knows that it will be in the box. Because
maybe he will drive like that to go and vote.
And so that is what it is. And for us, it's good.
Okay.
You have to be.
So you're promising that you collate on time.
We will have our results on time.
I was going to play a video, but I won't have time. We need to.
I want to see the video. What's it about?
The roads minister.
He's a very for Friday. Please.
It says that they are corrupt. There are many thieves at the ministry.
Okay. That's not good for Friday. It's okay.
It's not good
for Friday. I thought it was something exciting.
The TNT.
Okay, let's just watch.
The candidates are giving.
Let's just watch.
New notes.
There are a lot of corrupt people. There are a lot of thieves in my own ministry. You sack them. You employ new ones, and when they come, the new ones are even worse than those that you sack. Members of the press, you see the harm we are doing to our country. All of us and our government is spending millions and billions of money to fix our roads. We get transporters from other countries, neighboring countries, the landlord countries, coming to pick cargo from the port, and they don't respect our asset load regime. Look at all these vehicles parked here, and they park here hours on end. My information is that some of them are now going through the documentation process at the port, so they could park on the shoulders of the road for more than 24 hours, and the pressure on the road, they have destroyed the shoulders of our roads, and when they come onto the road itself, because of the unauthorized asset load that they carry, the roads that we spend our hard-earned money to build, they destroy them. And my information is that they cannot do same in their own countries. The French-speaking countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and so on. When they get to the borders, Paga, they offload part of their.
All right. Okay. So we're I mean, what do you do? There are too many thieves, and you get rid of them, and those who come
are senior.
If you don't arrest them and prosecute the thieves,
the worst part is that those who
will come will think that they need to steal more.
But one of these days, I think we need to put all his bloods together, because he's had many very interesting engagements with the press. Okay. That's what fun.
There's something they say in Tree about when you're pointing fingers, something. How is it said?
Okay. Ori Fonsa showed there. That's one.
No. So when you're pointing.
Onsa Bako Chre Obiswa. And Naina can show.
Which means what?
Which means that when you are pointing
fingers.
Okay, so when you are accusing somebody of a wrong, you need to assess yourself.
That's what it means.
Yeah, that's what it means.
So today's the 50th birthday of a very good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, a brother as well. Fantastic gentleman. Enokano, but I'm sure that a lot of people don't know him by that name. They know him as Shasta. He's 50 today. So Shasta at 50. Today he's 50 years old. So Enoch Ano Shasta, today is your 50th birthday. Happy 50th birthday to you, my dear brother, Enoch Ano Shasta. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining me.
Doc, it's 4 days to occupy the Bank of Ghana.
Yes.
And I wish to see you there.
Yes.
To come
because,
to participate.
Yes.
Oh, really? You know, Doc is one of the first persons I saw raise the issue about printing of
they say we should applaud,
money.
They say we should applaud them.
They came with their statement to rebut it. Now it's become the truth that they really printed monies. Yes.
I haven't read this.
80 billion.
I haven't read the statement.
You haven't read it? Yeah, you were busy doing the cesarean for the two boys. Anyway, so up next, GMG Trends.
And we are citizens of this country. And these drivers, what they cannot do in their own countries, they do it here with impunity. Because
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for and couple the makers in
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealeth unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack promo.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you need a place with a stunning view and serene environment just beneath the Green Mountains with a commercial center and recreational area with an amazing park? Then look no further.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, the most affordable yet luxurious gated community located in Damfa, Accra. We have 2 and 3 bedroom houses with spacious park. Let me show you. All of our rooms come with beautiful porcelain tiles, durable fitted kitchen cabinets,
constant water supply,
electricity and water 24/7.
I'm buying this house. Stop processing my papers. Move it. If you're living in Ghana and want an affordable and luxurious house to buy, look no further than Rehoboth Social Housing Limited. Oh, and to those from the diaspora, aren't you tired of living in places that doesn't belong to you? You can also own your house and be your own landlord from Rehoboth Social Housing Limited. I have my own, Bosu Landlord.
Contact us now. Rehoboth Social Housing. Your housing dream becomes reality.
governing New Patriotic Party will this Saturday make a bold step towards achieving the ambitious agenda of breaking the 10 bigwigs of the party vying for the flag bearer spot will battle it out in the Super Delegates Conference to whittle the number down to 5 ahead of the presidential primaries in November this year. Trust Metro TV to bring an extensive coverage from 7 a.m. on August 26, 2023 until the last ballot is counted. Join us and our array of experts with thorough analysis here in the studio, on the ground and online on your Election Central on Metro TV.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending on social media with Desi, the star boy.
Ronnie, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Yesterday, I had a horrible time going home, and this one, as I heard the roadsman is that, it come my mind inside.
You had a horrible time going home?
The roads from my area, wait, dog.
Bad?
Oh, no.
Terrible.
Afariwa area, in fact, from Ashaiman, the motorway getting to Ashaiman, the overhead, from that area to Afariwa, oh, Jesus Christ.
But the motorway itself?
The motorway itself before 18 Junction. If you do not know the road, if you've not used the motorway before and you're speeding, I'm sure you move off the road into the bush. All the fillings they did were tutu.
These are thieves. The minister said
they can't carry the goat out.
No, they are stealing. And when he sacks them, those who come steal more than
Anyway, Doc, this morning it's about the NPP Super Delegates Conference tomorrow, and we are ready for you. As you saw the promo play before we came back on for the trends, we've got you covered for that. But let's begin with GMG, some of the comments coming in this morning on social media. All right, so this one says that as for Bawumia, we are waiting patiently for him to win, then we'll play his own songs for him. Maxwell probably writing that to us this morning. Alhaji Yusuf Hussein says, what happens tomorrow should reflect what will happen on November 4th and 8th. The super delegates belongs to both the elites in the party and the grassroots, because some executive branches are coming to do just what their people ask them to do. So let's not downplay the outcomes of tomorrow. From Alhaji Yusuf Husseini on Facebook this morning. Moving on to A6 Sylvester says, good morning. Please, tomorrow is the day. Let's vote for Dr. Akuto for development, transformation, and accountability governance. Bridget O2 interviewed him, and the issues about votes by says for transport. Just for transport. Prince Harry says that dear Metro TV, my top 5, Mr. Alan, Dr. Bawumia, Kennedy Japan, Kwame Japan, and Efri Akuto. Note that any of these that would win will send the NPP back to the bush in 2024. So those are some of the comments that have come in this morning. Always the hashtag is Good Morning Ghana on Twitter. And now the NPP Delegates Conference itself is also trending on Twitter. Let's take a look at some of the people, social media think will come up in the top 5. So let's take a look at that. So this one says that time for NPP delegates to cash in, but please make a choice for the betterment of Mother Ghana. From Evans Sanfre Adjoata says that super delegates, please vote for Alan because he is the only candidate who can make Ghana the beacon of hope for Africa. He's the best choice for the NPP. Okay, Yesumami says NPP delegates have to be very careful about who they choose as flag bearer. The NDC guys are just waiting to use Bawumia as a bait for their campaign. Voting for Alan Tremantin is a lot safer. All right, super delegates, are you aware of this statement? I'd rather, so that was a statement by Dr. Bawumia. I'd rather recommend Kennedy Japan as the right person to lead NPP as a flag bearer. This man is not fit to lead Ghana. Talking about the vice president. And this one says that it was a video, some of his speeches over the years. To your party say, vice president, fit for the role.
No, I don't understand it.
So he was making a reference.
Who?
The tweet.
Yes.
Yes. Making reference to the fact that the vice presidents cannot be trusted. And so we should rather vote for Kennedy Japan.
That's what he wrote.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get that understanding.
Yeah, that's what he meant. There. So tomorrow we'll bring you all the details from 7 a.m. right till the end. We've got the men and the women who'll be doing that for us tomorrow. So do well to join us for that particular one. Now from politics, Kudus Mohammed has been training since yesterday. He hit a hat-trick for Ajax in the Europa League conference. That's the qualifiers. Yes, and he's been in the news. Reports have it that they are the final stages where he may be joining West Ham. And even in the interview after the game, he said that this is his last game. Doc, good one.
Very good. Very good. I just want to see the deal close so that he can move on and focus on his career.
Yeah.
I think he will be a big hit in the English Premier League.
I don't know why, but I prefer Brighton.
Well, West Ham too won't be bad. I mean, it won't be a bad place.
Yeah.
West Ham doesn't have a player like him. I think that they would really need somebody like him.
Yeah. Okay, so wish him the very best. And
wherever Kudus goes, he will shine.
He will shine. He will shine there. And what a way to leave the club on that note.
And all the big clubs that they pick him up, they should be getting ready to pay like 100 million for him for next season. Yeah.
Next season, next to for Mohammed. Kudus, but Doc, Black Sherif should be doing a remix of his song "Oil in My Head." Because it's a song by Black Sherif. Oil in my head, every touch is blessed.
Oh, okay, that's the title of the song.
Yes.
Oil on my head.
In my head.
In.
Yes.
Not on. I see.
Yes. Okay. Hey, Doc. The GFA president. Sana any favorite song? Wallahi. Hey. Blacko, please, you need to feature Keto Kreko on this one. Let's watch the video.
Victory is there and feeling. And I see you. Man don't stay down when man go. Get up and come for more. Get up and come for more. Man don't stay down when man go. Get up and come for more. Get up and come for more. Get up and come for more. Are you ahead? Everything I touch is blessed. All I see is blessed. And no one can stop. I will stop for nothing. Victory is there and feeling. And I see you. Man don't stay down when man go.
Charlie, the man be high in the song.
You should go and look for a video when he was going to file his nomination for the GFA elections in 2019.
19, okay.
Yes, he was sitting in a car and he was singing, was it a Shatta song? Either Shatta or Stonebwoy.
Yeah.
One of them, those songs. And I think he likes those songs. And I think he's been, his choice of music is also being influenced by his chief of staff. Secretary, he likes this.
Oh, okay. You know, you want to hold the microphone.
His mother's 80th birthday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm sure that he's thinking about his election.
As it does all.
I hope that he wants the oil on his head, not in his head.
On his head. But I'm gonna point you. Someone said that I know my Ghanaians will remember this video when Black Star loses.
That's what that one there is banker. There's banker.
What kind of video?
Have you seen the Gobe prayer?
Hey, dog.
Today, in Asanka.
Yes. And the prayer for all Gobe, I second it. Because maybe Gobe, I was telling them this morning on Morning Rush. Gobe kakra, kosua kakra, sausage kakra, na paya kakra. Complete set.
Okay.
That's
a dad about Gobe.
So all Gobe sellers, we pray for you for more strength and power to you. But okay, just before I go, today's the birthday of the CEO of FC Epiphany. Yes, the female football team doing so well in the women's league. So happy birthday to you, Mr. Prosper Akwesi, Intoso, CEO of FC Epiphany, from your wife and the children, of course, the whole team. Say happy birthday to you, and yeah, so wish you the very best.
A friend of mine is 50. I've looked for his pictures.
I can't
find.
There are people like that too.
Yes.
They don't post anything. You say, if you want anything, you won't find one.
I've looked for his picture. I can't find.
You can't find it on Facebook.
Enokano, Shasta. Everybody calls him Shasta.
Shasta.
Shasta. He's 50 today.
Feel like people go do some underground work.
Maybe I should have asked. I didn't want to ask people because I didn't want to alert him.
Oh, yeah, it would have been a surprise.
Then now, my so-called surprise has surprised me.
What to zoom? Hey, my dog, we are going to Fetua Fashe.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
you are going to my hometown.
Yeah, I'm going to my other home, Charlie. I'm really excited about it. I'm Cape next week. From Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the happenings, we are bringing it to you right here on Metro Television, and so do watch out for that. We brought you home, it was amazing. The gun wasn't so good for my side, but easy. I'm a confanter of. I can do that one. So I fit to Fashion on Metro TV next week from the 1st of September.
I'll send you to my family house.
Oh, Doc, I love that.
It's just around a disco, so.
Oh, a disco, so I'm going to
Obisham.
Like the proper show. Anyway, Doc, so a big shout out to Reverend Adaya, Reverend, watching the show this morning. So, Doc, that's it for the trends today.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Oil in my head. Now, the oil, I thought about it too. How can the oil be in your head?
It's supposed to be on your head. If it's related to blessing, it's supposed to be on your head.
On your head. Yes. Maybe this one, the oil they make the brain they work. The way they pour oil for machine top, then like go.
And so without the oil, the brain will be dry.
Maybe.
Okay, so my friend and brother, Mr. Eric Kutoche, the chairman of the First Sky Group, you're laying your brother to rest this weekend at Kwando. Our commiserations to you and your family. So please accept our commiserations, Mr. Eric Kutoche, the chairman of the First Sky Group. You're laying your brother to rest this weekend at Kwando. So wish you God's strength and for you to find the fortitude and everything, especially your mom as well. And we'll be there to support you.
Okay.
Yes.
But your age, the last one, I just had I just had the last voice
from your Sunday school teacher.
No, this one is from Yayo Tish in New York and Mama Kara of Peace and Love in Aguna Studio. They're saying happy birthday to their sister, Mrs. Gladys Tremor of Peace and Love at Aguna Studio. Happy birthday
So
to you.
now those who send you the wishes, let them know that henceforth I'll be charging. You can't just come and do. Come with a charge. Otherwise, you can post it on your social media.
No, now we will take out.
All right.
We will take the
Okay, so enjoy the weekend.
Yes, sir.
I'm seeing anything.
This weekend, I've got a lot of rounds. Today is.
I'll ask you a specific question. Are you emceeing anything?
No, I'm not.
Okay, all right. Okay. So that'll be it. Up next, Metro Sport.
Twedi ampo ye jago bewura bia ehya wonsa ema bone ntugo bewura bia dasafo rade nyankopon so wo amane kwadanda betugo bewura de twedi ampo nyakopon anka ma sha wo fodwuma enkofom ewo Jesus dem ma wutumi ne ehata go bewura bia so oton ade ayento ohedwa ayento wo Jesus Christ demo afejide fo na sore bompanye kataba cash power gobeura power Jesus for gobeura nicho gobeura who here president gobeura who here army in the name
of Jesus.